Joseph's story is one of the most emotional in the Bible. It is the tale of a young man who faced betrayal, suffering, and challenges, but, with God's help, overcame everything to become one of the most powerful people in Egypt. Today, we will explore Joseph's journey from the pit to the palace. Joseph was the favorite son of his father, Jacob, which caused envy among his brothers. Jacob made Joseph a special coat of many colors, and this only increased the resentment of his brothers. Moreover, Joseph had strange dreams where he saw his brothers bowing before him. When he shared these dreams, his brothers became even more irritated. One day, Joseph's brothers were grazing sheep far from home, and Jacob asked Joseph to check on them. When Joseph arrived, his brothers saw an opportunity to get rid of him. At first, they thought of killing him, but instead, they decided to throw him into an empty pit. They stripped off his coat and threw him into the pit without water. Shortly after throwing Joseph into the pit, a caravan of Ishmaelite merchants passed by. Rather than leave him to die in the pit, the brothers decided to sell him as a slave. They sold him for 20 pieces of silver, and Joseph was taken to Egypt, far from his family. To cover up their act, the brothers took Joseph's coat, smeared it with animal blood, and returned home. They showed the coat to Jacob, making him believe that Joseph had been killed by a wild animal. Jacob was devastated and mourned bitterly for the loss of his beloved son. Meanwhile, in Egypt, Joseph was sold as a slave to an important man named Potiphar, who was the captain of Pharaoh's guard. Even as a slave, Joseph remained dedicated and faithful to God. He worked hard, and Potiphar soon realized that God was with Joseph in everything he did, leading him to promote Joseph to manage his entire household. Joseph prospered in Potiphar's house, but faced a great temptation. Potiphar's wife tried to seduce Joseph, but he refused, remaining faithful to God and his master. Feeling rejected, the woman falsely accused Joseph of attempting to assault her. Believing his wife, Potiphar had Joseph imprisoned. Even in prison, Joseph remained faithful to God. The jailer saw that Joseph was a just and trustworthy man, so he put Joseph in charge of the other prisoners. While there, Joseph interpreted the dreams of two of Pharaoh's servants, a cupbearer and a baker, who were imprisoned with him. Joseph's interpretations were accurate, and soon the cupbearer was freed, as Joseph had predicted. Years later, Pharaoh had disturbing dreams that no one could interpret. The cupbearer, now free, remembered Joseph and told Pharaoh about him. Joseph was called to interpret Pharaoh's dreams. He explained that Egypt would face 7 years of abundance, followed by 7 years of famine. Joseph advised Pharaoh to prepare for the years of famine. When the years of famine arrived, Joseph's brothers went to Egypt to buy food, unaware that Joseph was now the governor. When he saw them, Joseph recognized them, but they did not recognize him. After testing them, Joseph revealed his identity and, in an emotional moment, forgave his brothers and brought them to live with him in Egypt.